I know you. I know you don't. I know you don't.
Ain't no mystery, man.
I know you don't. I know you don't. I know you don't.
Spoke to my son. Think I ain't told my son, his mama, and his grandmamas, his going to prison.
Ago, when T.I.'s son King was getting a lot of flack and a lot of heat in the media, that to me, he just looked like a young kid that wanted to prove to his father that he was a man too.
King Harris's legal mess just hit rock bottom after Tiny slapped T.I. with divorce papers, and it didn't stop there. She couldn't stand the fact that T.I. straight up disowned King after that wild arrest. The shocking part? T.I. isn't even fighting for the marriage or trying to fix anything. Now the whole situation is spiraling out of control, with family members turning on each other like enemies. The tension is boiling over, and everyone's whispering the same thing. Who's really to blame for this chaos that ripped the family apart? The big question is, are the parents who gave King everything to blame? Or was it King who threw it all away, chasing that fake gangster lifestyle? Tiny and T.I. splitting up might have shocked people, but the truth is, cracks in their marriage had been there for years. The final breaking point came in October 2024, right after King's reckless arrest threw the entire family into the spotlight.
I need you to step out the vehicle.
What you want to do? You want to take my gun off my head?
Yes, sir.
There's one in the head.
Does your buddy have one as well?
There's guns right here.
All right, just hang tight right here for me. Let me clear this. I don't want any accidental fires.
There's no safety. You got to take
There's no safety.
Just take
Okay.
the clip out.
Well, I'm not going to mess around with that too much. Let me just set this down right here.
King was pulling out of a gas station in his BMW, driving wild as usual, when he nearly smashed into a cop car.
Dude, step
Can I
out
get
for
out
me.
now?
Yes, sir. Place your hands behind your back for me. All right, right now you're just being detained. You're not under arrest.
You straight?
Where's your final at? I'm gonna be at the church. All right, I appreciate you being cool, man. We're just gonna take a look at this information, make sure it's valid.
I ain't tripping this.
The timing couldn't have been worse, because once those officers pulled him over, things went from bad to disastrous. They walked up to the car and instantly caught the strong smell of weed. Then the cops spotted a gun tucked right into his pants. And at that point, it was already looking ugly for King. They snatched the weapon, slapped the cuffs on him, but when they ran his name, that's when everything exploded. Turns out, he had an outstanding warrant from 2022 for overspeeding, driving on a suspended license, and even a DUI. It was all bad news. King could have walked away if he had just kept it cool, but instead, his past mistakes came crashing down on him. And the second that arrest footage hit the internet, people ripped him to shreds. One thing was crystal clear in that video. King finally realized he had crossed the line. This wasn't him crashing out for clout in a 30-minute rant.
Hitting me and giving me my comments, telling me what to tell King, okay? I know my son. Think I ain't spoke to my son? Think I ain't told my son, his mama, and his grandmamas, his going to prison. If you got to keep that shit up, his ain't going to prison. Ain't no way around it. Ain't nothing I'm gonna be able to do about it. Can't nobody stop it but him. You know what I mean? I've already had the conversation. I've already made my peace with it.
This time, you could see the regret all over his face. It was like he knew the only way to make things even slightly better was to cooperate. And for someone like King, that had to take serious restraint. We've all seen him wilding out in public, but this video showed the complete opposite of the King people know from social media. Even the arresting officer was shocked at how calm he stayed through it all. But that didn't save him. He still landed in DeKalb County Jail before being moved to Pickens County once the warrant was recalled. And when that video went viral, fans flooded the comments with no mercy. One person straight up called him a trust fund prison punk, and that comment blew up with likes because people thought it was hilarious. Another user dragged him, saying he acts like his parents' money can save him, yet he tries to move like he came from nothing. But here's the twist. King wasn't the only one paying the price, because the fallout didn't just hit him. It tore right into his parents' marriage, turning those old cracks into a full-blown split. T.I. tried to play the role of the heartbroken dad, but Tiny, she was furious, and she had receipts.
This ain't your restaurant. This ain't your restaurant. Everything you make, I can pull out my pocket right now. I ain't tripping on you. I ain't tripping. Get the hell out of my face. I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking to you. Who the hell is he? What's your name? My name King. You know it and your mama know it. Tell your mama Happy Mother's Day. Tell your mama Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day. That file show. What? On game what? On game.
In her divorce papers, she flat out named King's spiral as the reason she was finished. Shockingly, T.I. didn't even fight back or try to fix the marriage, because in his eyes, he'd already done his job as a father, and King only had himself to blame for all this trouble. As harsh as it sounds, it's the truth. Back when King first started going viral in 2022, T.I. went online practically begging him to slow down. He warned that King was running down a dangerous path, and if he didn't pump the brakes, jail would be the final stop. T.I. even admitted he'd been telling Tiny and King's grandmother the same thing, that they all needed to keep an eye on him before he threw his whole future away. And T.I. wasn't just talking as a worried dad. He'd been to jail, paid the price, and didn't want to see another young man crash out the same way. But Tiny wasn't buying it. Instead, she flipped it on him and used those very words as ammo in the divorce. She argued that T.I. hadn't really stepped up as a father, and if he had been more present and firm, King wouldn't have spiraled so hard. And Tiny wasn't wrong to call it out.
He he know not true. Silver spoon, I ain't never ate with that day a day in my life.
Nigga, you did have a silver spoon.
Look, Tip used to have to come to my grandma's house, because I'm getting in the
You
fight.
cried like a baby to go to your grandmama's house.
Every day.
You used to hold your breath.
Every day.
I know you. You capping. I know you. I know you. I know you.
Shut up. Shut up.
I know you.
Ain't no mystery about here.
I know you though. I know you though.
Shut up.
I know you though. I know you. What's wrong with y'all?
T.I. was in and out of prison from the very moment she found out she was pregnant with King. And by the time he was finally free for real, King had already grown up without a solid father figure. T.I.'s presence didn't change much either, because he allegedly shipped King off to live with his grandmother. King even revealed that despite his parents' wealth, he didn't grow up surrounded by money, because life at grandma's was different. He claimed the only times he was really allowed at his parents' house was when cameras were rolling for their reality TV show. With a home environment like that, it's no shock that things turned out the way they did. King started chasing distractions in the streets, and with every stunt he pulled, he crept closer and closer to a future behind bars. One moment that really showed how far gone he came during that infamous Waffle House meltdown in 2022. It all started over something as petty as a worker adding pickles to his order when he didn't want them. That tiny mistake was enough to set King off. He jumped into a screaming match with the employee, recording the entire ugly scene and blasting it on social media. But instead of looking tough, he ended up looking like a spoiled brat, and fans started questioning why T.I. was letting King run wild like that. So when T.I. dropped that video warning King, Tiny was heated, because in her eyes, all that fatherly advice should have come years earlier.
Just those motherfucking 12 pull up and they say, hey, who do you belong to? Who raised their hand? Somebody got to raise their hand. I've been seeing him around too there a lot. You gonna raise your own hand? I've been seeing him around too. Well, when you got drugs, it ain't like I know that. Y'all got drugs around those legal guns. They called possession of a firearm and commission of a crime, sir. That is a felony. Thank you.
Things cooled down between them for a bit, but T.I. couldn't hide his disappointment forever. That tension finally exploded at an Atlanta Falcons game, where King and T.I. got into an argument that turned physical right in front of everyone. It all started when King claimed he didn't grow up with privilege. That set T.I. off. He quickly checked him, reminding him he literally had a silver spoon in his mouth since birth. But King wasn't backing down, and before anyone knew it, he was throwing hands with his own father. From the clip, you can see the fight was intense. It looked like T.I. forgot King was his own son and was ready to really put hands on him. The clip racked up thousands of likes within hours, with people online praising T.I. for finally disciplining King. Some even said, he should have busted him a long time ago. Others chimed in with, that's an overdue library book. When you don't check the problem, it'll eventually check you. Fans were saying King had been out of control for too long, and the family needed prayers.
I'm a father, so I got 2 grandchildren now.
Wow, congrats.
Yeah, I got 2 granddaughters. I got a grandson on the way.
Wow.
King's about to have a son.
King's about to have a son. Congrats.
Yeah. And I told him I'm gonna make this the greatest gangster of all times. I will raise this child to torture you the way that you tortured me. I promise you, there will be an indictment in this young one.
But Tiny wasn't having it. She hated how T.I. humiliated King in public like that. And to make it worse, when she got home, she found out I had kicked King out of the house, forcing him to survive on his own. She felt T.I. had gone way too far, and that brutal move became another crack that ultimately pushed her to cut T.I. off completely. Another bomb Tiny dropped in those divorce papers was T.I.'s constant cheating and violent past. For years, she watched him step out on their marriage and then try to spin it like he had changed. But those lies kept stacking higher and higher. By the time King spiraled into his own mess, Tiny wasn't just mad at her son. She was staring straight at the man who raised him, realizing the cycle had never been broken. That's why she finally cut T.I. off. What really broke Tiny was seeing that King wasn't carving out his own lane. He was following the same script T.I. once lived through. Those jail stints that gave T.I. his so-called tough guy rep were now the exact blueprint King was crashing into. So when T.I. disowned King after his arrest, Tiny snapped. Because in her eyes, he was disowning his own reflection.
Hit me up like, King, I know you tired. You ain't getting no sleep. And the truth be told, before this look, I ain't been getting no sleep. You know what I'm saying? I just been outside working, lifestyle. You know, lifestyle just lifing. You know what I'm saying? And, but now I'm damn sure not getting no sleep. This up every morning, and then around the morning time, he like to do that little live concert I be doing with him. And, he like to walk around the house. So
that's exactly why those divorce papers hit the table. And you can see just how desperate King is for his father's approval by the way he's always flexing guns. After that arrest footage went viral, some people even claim King walked right into that situation on purpose, just to get some jail time and boost his street cred. Others said he finally proved himself as a rugged guy, earning the image he's been chasing for years. But a lot of folks believe King pulls these stunts just to get attention and respect from T.I. And honestly, it seemed like his antics worked. Remember when T.I. and Boozy had to check their sons on camera? King and Boozy's son, Tootie Raw, were filming a music video. But instead of focusing on the song, they were flashing guns like they were in a trap house. That's when the dad stepped in, and you could hear the disappointment dripping from T.I.'s voice as he pressed King, asking why he was so focused on acting tough when there were girls right there. It turned into a full lecture on the spot. T.I. made it crystal clear. One wrong move with those guns or getting caught with something illegal could ruin their lives forever. He and Boozy weren't joking, and you could see just how serious they were in that moment. On the surface, it looked like T.I. was really trying to drill into his son's head that the path he was on would lead straight to jail. But when Tiny heard about it, she wasn't impressed. She was furious. Not because she was happy about King flexing guns, but because she felt T.I. was years too late. In her eyes, King was just copying the same things he had seen his father do. But the final straw? King's baby mama drama. When T.I. went on a podcast and casually announced he was about to be a grandfather again because King was having a child, Tiny couldn't believe her ears. To her, it sounded like I was straight up endorsing their son's reckless behavior. The situation turned out to be a strange one. Rumors started swirling that King's baby mama, Big Nana, was way older than him. Some even claimed she only got with him to secure a bag, and King was just too young and immature to see it. But King didn't care one bit. He was hyped about the whole thing. When their son was born in November 2024, King was over the moon. He proudly stepped into the father role, posting nonstop about his baby and bragging like crazy. He even dropped a track called Dear Son, where he rapped about stepping up as a dad, captioning the post, November 5th, 8:09 a.m., welcome King Jr., time to take over. For a second, it really looked like King was ready to change, like fatherhood was finally calming him down and pushing him to grow up. For Tiny, that was the moment she thought maybe, just maybe, things could shift. The best part was seeing King actually stepping up as a present father, trying to correct the mistakes his own dad made when he was just a baby. But of course, the timing couldn't have been worse. While King was online flexing his proud dad moment, that arrest video was still circulating everywhere, reminding the world that his troubles weren't going away. T.I. tried to show support as a father, but the disappointment kept slipping through, and for Tiny, that was the last straw. She might have overlooked the cheating, the past drama, even the fights, but the fact that T.I. was so ashamed of King that he didn't even want to live under the same roof with him, that shattered her completely. So when the divorce papers finally landed, it wasn't a surprise. It was just the final blow to a marriage that had been cracking for years. Tiny's done. She's not covering, not hiding, and not protecting T.I. anymore. The only question now is, what move will T.I. make next? Because if he stays silent the way he did with King, this family might already be finished for good. And that's the full story. Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe for more breakdowns just like this one.